Hey everybody, it's Yasmin here. How you going? My moons have now completely fallen down, so you're getting the beautiful paint in our meditation room. We're going to change the meditation room. I have to finish my diary for those of you. That's the one for next year. I'm writing the one for 2022 right now, and I've got something like 2 weeks left to finish it in. How are you all? I'm pretty good. Thanks for asking, Aoife. But I could not sleep until 5:30 or so, 5:15, I don't know. Like, I think the last time I checked, I said, Alexa, what time is it? It was after 5. I could not sleep last night. I was just saying on the chanting meeting, I did a bit of work, I watched a bit of TV, and I even wrote the synopsis to a film that I've had in my head for about 2 years. What the heck? Did anyone else not sleep? What else is going on? Also, I don't know if you're in London, if you're on Virgin Media, we have no internet, so I'm coming to you live and direct on my telephone. And really what I wanted to talk about today is the fact that it's the end of Venus retrograde today. So there you go. How are you feeling about that? Did you use the Venus retrograde for its best purposes? Oh, I love this. Shiva Shakti. Hey, Yasmin, thanks for chanting. My boyfriend said I was chanting the Kali mantra in my sleep. That's brilliant. We're still doing the Kali mantra if you want to join us. We had 60 people on this morning. It was amazing. And, right, Monique couldn't sleep either. Yes, Marilyn, I am really tired. Oh, Laura, it's 3 a.m. here and I'm wide awake. There you go. So I don't know what happened last night. I mean, often when I can't sleep, then I find out a few days later there was a solar flare. So I don't know if there are any solar flares happening right now. Pauline is awake, 5:14, she can't sleep. Yeah, it's weird. What's going on? Can it be because we're in the eclipse season? Maybe. So let's talk about Venus retrograde. So for those of you who don't know, we have just been through around about 40 days from the 40 days of the Venus retrograde, which only happens every 18 months, okay? Now, I am big into Venus retrograde because I know it's a time when you can really work things out with people. So like if you've had a falling out with your friend or even a breakup with a partner or anything like that, you know, upset with your family or your mother or your father or your sister or your brother or your neighbors or whatever. It's a time when you can start to make up. And as you would know, I ran a free and paid Venus retrograde course, which literally thousands of people took. And I had so many emails from people who did it, who said, I focused on making up with a friend and we've spoken for the first time in I don't know how long, and some people who reunited with their partner. So, you know, it's been kind of amazing. It's been amazing, and I'm so glad. I actually recorded that course about 5 years ago. And or maybe 4 years ago, I don't know, like 2 Venus retrogrades ago. And as I was recording it, I was quite heartbroken because a girlfriend and I had had a big falling out. It was ridiculous and it was really upsetting. And at the point that I recorded the course, we had actually not been speaking to each other for 2 years. And while I was recording the course, those of you who did even the free version, I think, had this little story in it. While I was recording the course, we ended up more or less taking the first steps to making up. I wrote to her while I was doing the course because I was talking about how Venus retrograde is heart opening, and it's a really good time to take stock of what really matters and to get back in your heart and all that kind of stuff. And I was doing the course as I recorded it, and I ended up emailing her, and she emailed me back and said, you know, come on, let's just forget about it. It's been too much for too long. And the best thing was the little orchid story. I can tell you this now, I'm not going to spoil it for anyone because the course now will go offline for another 1.5 years. But there was this wonderful thing that happened. So not only did she write to me and say, okay, you know what, let's let bygones be bygones. You know, she actually, I can't remember what her words now were. I put it in the course, but it was something like, you know, we were just both being really stubborn. Let's just move on, and you still have my friendship, which, you know, was a really big thing to me. And I don't think she'll watch this because she doesn't do much Facebook. Otherwise it'd be a bit embarrassing. Anyway, and then either later that day or the next day, she sent me the most beautiful text message or WhatsApp message with a picture of an orchid in bloom. And she said, you know what's really weird? Because she obviously felt as well that we kind of moved past our dramas. And she sent me this picture saying, do you remember you gave me this orchid 2 years ago? Which I'd actually given her this orchid. I left it on her doorstep when, after the argument, when I was kind of trying to make up, but then she kind of didn't really want to make up because she was really mad. And I'd been quite upset and she'd been really upset. Anyway, I put this orchid on her front doorstep saying, you know, I hope we can sort this out. I'm really sorry for my part in our upset. And anyway, so 2 years later, I did the Venus retrograde course. I tried again. I opened my heart to love and all that. And she wrote to me and she sent me a photo of it. I was actually at the movies when the picture came through because I remember looking at it thinking, what's that? I couldn't open it because I was at the movies. I went out afterwards. It was a picture of the orchid I'd given her 2 years earlier. And she said, it's in bloom, it gives me goosebumps, for the first time since you gave it to me. I mean, you can't make this stuff up. You literally can't make this stuff up. And it took a while. Like, it wasn't instant back to old pals, but that was about 1.5 years ago, or was it 3 years ago? I don't know. I get all my times confused. I don't know how. Probably quite a long time ago. But anyway, we're friends again now. We're really, really good friends again now. And she's, funnily enough, we have a really flowery connection because she's been helping me over the internet with my veggie patch that I've been growing in lockdown. So there you go. So someone's saying, what does it mean when you break up with someone during Venus retrograde? Well, look, on the one hand, it can mean that you got together under a Venus retrograde because often what starts under one retrograde will finish under another one. For another one, it might be that you've reevaluated and you've decided that it's not quite right. Venus retrograde is really about reevaluation and working out what really, really matters to you. Joan says, I made peace with the breakup and I guess only time will tell if the friendship comes back. Well, that's great. You know, making peace is another really, really good thing to do. Peace is a very Venus thing, you know, and making peace with the past is really, really important. So there you go. Yeah, Venus in bloom. Exactly, that's what it was. Look, someone's saying there, what am I growing? And I don't really think this is the time to talk about my vegetable patch, but I can't resist. It's like, you know, when people show you pictures of their children. So we're growing strawberries, we're growing potatoes. Whoa, and we've got a card. What else are we growing? Radishes. I've got something which I don't know if it's cabbage or Brussels sprouts. And I don't know if I need to kind of take them out because it's a big pot of everything. Carrots. Cayenne peppers, and now I've stuck in some mint and coriander. I was out there talking to my mint last night. Just the first tiny little shoots have come up. I planted them about, I don't know, 4 or 5 days ago, the seeds. And you know when the little green things come out, and I was seeing this documentary on Gaia about the secret of water. If you've got Gaia TV, have a look at it. It's a good show. And it talks about how when you plant a seed, it's the water it's the water that basically gives it the strength to push through. They say it's strong enough to push through 4 atmospheres, whatever that means. I didn't know what that meant, but my husband did. He said, oh, that's interesting. I was like, what does it mean? He was like, but it has the power to grow up through the soil and push through. So I was out there last night, or yesterday afternoon, actually, it must have been, because I could see them very clearly, welcoming them to the world. Someone's saying, what does it mean if you've been arguing with your partner during Venus retrograde? Well, basically, it's a time to reevaluate. Okay, it's a time to reevaluate. Now, I have a card, and it jumped out as I was shuffling it. You might have seen. I know what it is. It's a really nice card. So ask your question. Ask your question. Here we go. Are you ready? Are you ready? Oh, wow. Nicola, lunar birth. Wow, sounds amazing. Should offer people a chart of their child when they're born as well. I'm sure I can help you organise that. Yes, yes, yes. The mint is in a container. Everybody's saying, watch out for the mint, it'll go wild. Yeah, it's in a container. Don't worry. I got the memo. I'm just waiting for it to go wild. So far, I planted the seeds about 5 days ago, and I've been going out looking every day going, what's coming up? What's coming up? Nothing, nothing. Oh my God, I'm going to be the only person in the world whose mint doesn't grow. And then yesterday I saw them. All right, here is the card. If this card is for you, if you dare, not knowing what it is, put this card is for me in the comments. This card is for me in the comments. Dawn Hampshire, old flame, very Venus retrograde, love from the past coming back. And sometimes it's for reconciliation and sometimes it's for closure. But it's all over now. It ends today. So Venus is going to start moving forwards again, which means it's going to be actually a lot easier to relate to our beloveds. Okay. All right. This card is for you, Aaron. Great. Mac, it's for you. Jan, it's for you. Sally, it's for you. Kaz 6863, it's for you. K8 Rawson, it's for you. Made by Mallory, it's for you. Okay, I'm going to assume that the feed is full of people. Are you ready? Here we go. We got this card. Can you see it? I know it's backwards. It's the prosperity card. Yay! Who doesn't love the prosperity card? It's really good if you've been having worries about lockdown finances. Okay? The universe is pouring its abundance out to you. Be open to receiving. Now, it can be an abundance of money, it can be an abundance of love, it can be an abundance of good times, it can be an abundance of all good things, but it isn't a good things, an abundance of good things. It has a very positive feeling to it. So there you go, there you go. Christy says, my question, I feel huge forgiveness for my partner. Why is that after all these years? Venus retrograde, my dear. That's what Venus retrograde is all about. It's about making peace with the past, reconnecting with what really matters to you and living accordingly. So there you go. All right, my beautiful online pals. Did I mention I went to sleep at 5:30 in the morning? So I'm going to go and do some work and then I'm going to have a very nice afternoon nap. Lots of love.